Teaching Rescue Exercise 6, your student will learn how to identify and safely bring an unresponsive diver to the surface. In this video, we will provide you with a comprehensive guide to demonstrate the skill effectively and correctly identify and solve common problems. Your demonstration should be slow and clear, allowing your students to learn as they observe. Start by organizing your students on the line. Begin the demonstration with "You watch me." For this skill, your Divemaster will be the unresponsive diver. You will be the hero, bringing the diver to the surface. And signal again for your Divemaster to get into position, negatively buoyant. Once again, remind your students of the organization and proceed with your demonstration. Start the demonstration with a clear scene assessment. Show clearly you are scanning the area, ensuring a safe approach. You can now make contact with the diver and check for responsiveness. This can be done by waving in front of their face and gently tapping the mask. Inform the students the diver is unresponsive and you will bring them to the surface. It is now time for you to become negatively buoyant and check the diver's SPG. This will allow you to determine if you will use your own or the diver's BCD for the ascent. In this situation, the diver has air remaining in the cylinder, so you can use their BCD for buoyancy control during the ascent. An important step is to open the diver's airway to prevent lung overexpansion injuries and keep the regulator in place. You can show the hand position on yourself before moving on with the demonstration. You can now signal you will add air into the diver's BCD using their LPI. Emphasize adding only small amounts of air to bring the diver into an upward position. Before beginning the ascent, remind the students to assess the surface for hazards. Instruct the students to ascend with you. Remember, air expands in the BCD, causing you to ascend faster. Remind your students they should occasionally vent expanding air, maintaining a safe ascent rate. Once at the surface, position the diver face up. This will allow the diver's airway to remain open. Establish positive buoyancy by fully inflating both yours and the diver's BCD. Your demonstration is complete after switching to your snorkel. With your demonstration complete, it's now time for your students to practice the skill. Pay close attention to the instructor's positioning throughout the skill. Begin by organizing your students on the control line. Inform the Divemaster of their role and get them into position close to the control line. Bring the first student forward and signal they will be the hero. Note the instructor's position. Position yourself able to clearly assess the skill practice while remaining in control of the entire group. The student begins the skill, assessing the scene, making sure it is safe to approach. Assess the student's ability to correctly complete each step of the skill. Maintain your position in the line of sight of all divers. When the student prepares to add air into the BCD, this is a sensitive part of the skill. You want to close the distance within arm's reach of the divers to prevent problems. As the divers get into an upward position, ready to ascend, reposition yourself in between the divers and the control line, ready to make contact with either diver to stop the ascent if required. Maintain this position during the entire ascent. Ensure both divers are positively buoyant at the surface. Once complete, provide your student with positive reinforcement. Remind them of the correct technique. And as always, finish with one more positive reinforcement. These are the common problems you may encounter when teaching Rescue Exercise 6. Maintaining close contact with your divers and the line will allow you to effectively identify and solve common problems, while safely supervising the entire group. The first problem you are likely to encounter is the student forgetting to assess the scene. Stop your student immediately and remind them of the correct technique, which is to assess the scene, ensuring a safe approach. Instruct them to restart the skill from the beginning. For all the following problems, if you stop and correct them in a timely manner, your student can continue from that corrected step. Some students might forget to check for the diver's responsiveness. Stop your student and remind them of the correct technique, which is to confirm the diver is unresponsive before proceeding. Remind them this can be done by waving in front of the diver's face, gently tapping their mask, or squeezing their shoulder. Instruct the student to continue. For this next problem, your student might forget to open the diver's airway. To quickly identify or prevent this problem, look at your student's right hand and ensure proper positioning. Stop your student and remind them of the correct technique by showing the hand positioning on yourself. Your student might attempt to swim up with the unresponsive diver without adding air into the BCD. Stop your student and remind them they must add a small amount of air into the BCD to ascend properly. However, another problem could be the student adding too much air into the BCD. Be ready to prevent this problem by using the assistance dump valve to stop an uncontrolled ascent. Stop your student and remind them to add only small amount of air in the BCD, controlling the ascent rate. As the divers get into an upward position, ready to ascend, reposition yourself in between the divers and the control line, ready to make contact with either diver to stop the ascent if required. During the ascent, your student might forget to vent air or add more air into the BCD. Stop your student immediately and remind them to vent expanding air to remain in control of the ascent. Once complete, provide your student with positive reinforcement and additional communication of the proper technique. You can then finish with one more positive reinforcement.